So this footage is from after I had taken Mustang Maddie's horse connection course thing. And so I'm kind of starting over a little bit with him because he does have some like anxiety about food. So we're just doing her like first default exercise where you just put food in a bucket, and then when his head comes up and is straight, you click and then feed again in that bucket and then start to wean him out of it. So that's what we're doing here. As soon as that head comes up, I'm going to click and it's nice and straight. He's not looking at me or anything. He's just right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and feed him in the bucket. And then the second part of that is feeding him out of my hand. So same thing. When his head comes up and straight, I'm going to feed him within my hand this time though. So I'll just kind of kneel down, and I'm in protective contact because he just wants to kind of swing his head around sometimes. So it's just a little bit easier if you start in there. There I'm clicking for that head straight and then feeding right away. A little bit drops in the bucket, that's totally fine. Clicking for head straight and then feeding right away. And then if he goes in the bucket, that's fine. Or if he stays out like this, that's also good. That's what I want, but I don't care if he does go back in the bucket. I don't want him kind of reaching around, biting the bars, doing all kinds of other stuff. I just want him nice and straight and giving him a lot of food so that he is highly reinforced for being in that position. So again, clicking with his head straight, and now I've gone to just staying up. So click here, head straight. And the goal here is really that rapid fire clicking so that I don't get those head turning behaviors. So I'll just kind of wait because I'm getting all these other things. I'm just gonna wait, head straight, then right away, and then go back in the bucket. So he can get pressure really, really quickly there. So he turned his head, and then went right to pawing. So I'm gonna go back to the bucket and work on that because maybe he's not quite ready for having his head out. I think it probably could have fed faster with his head out, but it was kind of hard to do so with the panel, and that's kind of why I bent down there. So head straight, feed right away, and then I need to be clicking here and then feeding. Yep, so I'm just going faster now. So clicking, I'm okay with a little bit of a head turn, and that'll kind of go away as we go here because then he's going to know he's going to get lots more food. So I'm clicking before he's doing this head turn thing. So that time I missed it, but like right there, yep, and then he can feed. Feed out of the bucket, clicking. So I need to be like pretty specific. So I'm kind of switching between the bucket and between the hands. Maybe just do this whole session in the bucket and then work on the hands later, but that probably was a little confusing for him, like switching in and out of the bucket. Okay, head straight, I'm clicking and then feeding. So click and feed. Yep. And I like that last time where he just kind of slowly picked his head up out of the bucket. So I'm preloading now. Yep. Missed that one. Because he's really fast to just, as soon as he gets the food, he turns his head. So he's looking for some, clicking now, and then feeding with my hand. And I've already taken a few sessions with this because he also needs to know that the food's not going to go away and he doesn't really need those anxious behaviors. He doesn't need to feel anxious. That's where those anxious behaviors are coming from, is because he's like, oh my gosh, where's the food? Well, how do I get the food? I turn my head to get the food because that was one of the things that I accidentally taught him in the beginning because I didn't want him to mug me, so when he would turn his head, I would click, but instead of when he turned his head away and stopped moving, I'm clicking while the head is turning, and so I ended up reinforcing a head turn, and that's where that's coming from. So I don't recommend doing that in the beginning because you can very easily reinforce this head turn like spinning type thing, and you really don't want it, and it's hard to break because it's the first thing you taught the horse. And since it's the first thing you taught the horse, not as only is it hard to break, but your timing probably isn't that great because you haven't done a ton of experience with it. And that's what happened to me. So now I've kind of gotten down and I'm just going to rapid fire here. So I'm clicking as soon as my hand leaves, and then I'm grabbing more food right away so that he is getting super reinforced for having that head straight and eating out of my hand, and not, he doesn't have any time to offer in any other behaviors. But the thing with him also is like he gets enough in his mouth and then he's, kind of wandering. So like now he's chewing and he's kind of looking outside, he's looking in the bucket, he's looking at my hand, he's looking over here. Like, but I'm gonna just keep staying right here. I'm just saying like head straight. This is where the reinforcement is, and those things will kind of go away. But yeah, it definitely can be frustrating because now like I have food in my hand and now he's like looking to the side, he's backing up. But I've already clicked him for having that head straight. So as soon as my hand leaves, I'm clicking him. So I'm clicking them there, and then even though like right after I click, he's turning his head. So we're gonna work on that a little bit because that's definitely nowhere near perfect. So we need to work on that a lot more. So now I'm gonna see if he can touch this stationary cone, which he probably wasn't really ready for. He could probably definitely work on just eating out of the bowl for a while. He's kind of all over the place. He's not touching. He's looking over here to the right. Just gonna wait for him. There we go. And I don't love that he's like hitting it and like it's almost falling over kind of thing. I don't really want that. That's one of the things he does that I need to work on as well. Is there that was better. He just kind of touches it gently. I don't need like he'll kind of just swing his head into things or he'll really use that upper lip and push things over, and that's one of the things I don't want. So there he's being a lot more gentle with touching the cone. Right there. Oh, that one wasn't as gentle, but it's okay. We just want to be careful on how many of those we reinforce.
Good boy.
That looks good with his head being nice and straight. Click and reinforce that. I'm okay with a little bit of a head turn, just like slowly. I'm okay with that, but not the really fast ones. We'll just give him a jackpot to end.